it's 43 feet 6 inches. In beam, it's 13 feet 6 inches. So it's got some size to it.
It does.
When we talk about the elegance of this, it's the classic design lines. To me, it's a perfect cruiser. So if I buy this boat, I can have it into my late 80s if I live that long.
Welcome to another episode of the Southern Boating Podcast. I'm Ian Sneed.
I'm James Anderson.
And today we're going to be talking to you about the Back Cove 390 and generator maintenance. Now, before we get started, remember to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment letting us know if you've seen the Back Cove 390 and what your thoughts are on the vessel as we talk about it.
Yeah, because I'm going to give you some of mine right now.
I like it. I'll kick it off. I like it.
I've always liked the Back Coves.
It's a beautiful vessel. Like,
very elegant.
Yes, elegant's the perfect word for it. Yes, it's luxurious. It's classic. It's timeless, but it's elegant. I really like this vessel.
Yeah, everything about this is right up my alley. You know, I'm a country club kind of guy, so
Yeah.
like this really fits me.
With the down east style?
Yeah, it's very practical. I like the fact that it's outboards, a little easier maintenance and so on. Very, very interesting. The one thing I am going to notice, it's amazing how 2 weeks in a row we wear the same clothes. But anyways, going back to the Back Cove. The Back Cove 390 is, by a length, it's 43 feet 6 inches. In beam, it's 13 feet 6 inches. So it's got some size to it.
It does.
But it also has Mercury outboards, and you can get them in two different options. So you can get the triple 400 V10s, or you can get twin V12 600.
And these are Mercury. Yeah.
Right? Those are your options.
The note I took down with each power package, with the triple Mercury V10 400s, you have a cruising speed of 30 miles per hour and a nautical mile range of 337.
Plenty enough to go over to the Bahamas.
Yes. Now, if you do the twin 600s, the V12 600s from Mercury, you have a 33 mile per hour cruise and 320 nautical mile range. So either way, you have good cruising speeds, you have good distance, and really it's just your preference on the engine type. I thought that was a fantastic way to give different engine options.
It's really unique, and obviously the V12's a little more fuel thirsty, but surprisingly not that much more than your triple option. I probably, personally will go for the trips, just a little bit more in redundancy if you lose one.
That was my thought too.
And stuff happens going across the Gulf Stream into the Bahamas. So to me, I like that added value of redundancy.
For me, the risk, it's a risk tolerance question. Right?
Correct. Exactly right. The other thing, when we talk about the elegance of this, it's the classic design lines. To me, it's a perfect cruiser. Now, normally we see these maybe being, and it's my assumption, being a little more popular up north because it encloses a little bit more. But to me, I think that's still kind of a little bit of a Florida, because if you want to go over in the summer, or you're even here in the southeast in the summer, you want something a little more climate controlled. Right. The air conditioning's pumping, you get a break from the heat and from the sun, and that's quite refreshing to get that break sometimes.
Absolutely. And then to go along, before we really get into like the cockpit and storage and the what's in the cabins and whatnot, when we're looking at the sleek lines, you were mentioning the sleek lines and the design, there's also around the bow the high guardrails.
Yes.
Right?
So very nice.
Safety elements incorporated into the design in a way that enhances, in my opinion, the elegance of it.
Yeah, it adds to it. So there's no doubt about that. But let's start talking about the layout of this boat. Right. Because I think it's laid out very, very well.
Yes.
I really like the functionality of this. So the cockpit. So number one, you have dual transom doors.
Yes.
Right? One starboard, one port. Very nice, especially if you're docked somewhere where it's a double dock situation. So you either have one side or the other side, right? So you have that option. And then it also has this aft as well, and then an aft facing seat.
Right.
So you have a real nice, and the table as well. So you have a nice dining setup in the cockpit.
So you can have alfresco dining if you so choose.
Exactly.
There's plenty of place to enjoy yourself, to enjoy the sun.
The others is you have, because it's outboards, you now have a ton of storage below deck. It's got a nice hatch there that you can utilize even when the table's in the up position. Very smart, because you might not always want to take it down, and you might be in a hurry to pull something out of storage while utilizing the table.
And it's an actuated hatch, which makes it easier to open and close. You don't have to focus just muscle power, right?
Nope.
I thought that was great.
So if I buy this boat, I can have it into my late 80s if I live that long.
If we're blessed enough to live that long, yeah. And then it's also a hardback for the fully enclosed space.
Correct. So the back, and what's needed about this is if you go on to their website and look at the pictures about this, so you have the sliding door, and then you also have over the aft facing seat, the window opens there as well.
Right.
It accordions back. So you can open it up and be full of free air, right? And it's windows all the way around. So it has that sense of being outside and a lot of airflow through it. But you can, again, close it all in, air condition it, stay in the cool. Or if you're using it to extend your season, heating that space as well.
Right.
Or just making sure that the cold air is not coming in.
And so continuing to move forward.
So now we're going to get into the helm area, and it's got twin captains, which is really nice. So you got a captain and a first mate seat side by side. Really beautiful. The helm itself is just absolutely stunning with the way that it incorporates, again, very elegant, classic looking, right, with modern technology built into it.
Right.
And that's what I really love.
Yeah. Right across from the twin captain seats, there's a U-shaped.
It's U-shaped settee, right? So, with a table as well. So
it makes it a very comfortable social setting as well. It's a galley forward, is that right?
It's
a galley up design.
Galley up design. So you have the galley right behind the twins captain's chairs.
Right.
Again, it's a nice little intimate setting. It doesn't feel closed in by any means because of all the windows. Correct. So it feels very spacious. Lots of headroom.
And everything is really accessible. Right.
Correct.
So that's what I liked about the galley up design.
And then all the wood is just magnificent. I really love that look.
And then below deck, there's a lounge with a smart TV. You have the forward cabin, the owner's cabin, and a private entry to the shower and the head.
To the head and the shower. And it's a separate shower from the head.
Right.
So you don't have, again, something that I'm not a fan of is a wet head.
The wet head. Yeah.
Right. So in a boat like this, you rarely see it. Then you also have the twin berths below as well. So you have two twin berths for guests. Or what I would be looking at is this is a perfect cruiser for a family of 4, because you have the two twins, one for each kid.
Yeah.
And then the couple with the queen. Just to me, all the way around, really beautiful. They're built in Maine. Outstanding reputation for Back Cove and their sister company, Sabre. I've worked a lot with them, and I've got to say their staff is amazing. The quality of their boats is amazing. If you're looking for a boat manufacturer that's going to be involved and really care about you, it's a company that's going to be that.
Yeah, I enjoy working with them.
We're one of my favorites.
Let's transition to generator maintenance, which is extremely important and probably something that some people overlook. So we want to double down on making sure that you're taking this into account whenever you're doing your, hopefully, daily checks, your fluids, your oils, and all of that.
Because the last thing you want to happen is to have a generator issue while you're out cruising, and it really just puts a damper on your weekend or your time out and about exploring.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that. You want, when you're out exploring and cruising, you want to have no dampers on your experience.
Right. You want it to be an easier experience in regards to maintenance. So with that said, we're going to touch on a few things that you might want to look for during generator maintenance. But given the fact that generators can be pretty unique, you need to become familiar with your generator specifically. Now, some of this that we're going to talk about will help, but you can read the article in our August issue to get a little more information.
I think this is a very good article in regards to just being cognizant of what you need to be doing.
Yes.
So for me, I break it down into the first two that we'll talk about are going to be daily dues and occasional dues.
Right.
So daily dues, something that you should be doing with your engine room in general, checking fluid levels, going down, checking on the fluids, checking not just your engine fluids for your propulsion engine, but also your generator. And sometimes this might mean taking a look under the sound barrier cover of your generator.
Yeah. So a lot have that sound shield cover. Some of them provide access to check your fluids without having to take it off. Taking it off gives you the added benefit of also being able to check the belt tightness.
Checking belt tension is one thing. You can check it with a quick little tug on the belt. The other sign that you're going to be looking for is black dust, right? Black dust means that that belt is wearing.
That could cause huge problems.
Yep. If your belt breaks, you're done. It's over. You're not running the generator.
So with fluids, right? Checking the oil. Touch on that.
Checking in your oil, there's some things that you should definitely be looking out for. Number one is your oil kind of looking milky, in which we just talked about this. If your oil is going to look a little milky, that means that you're getting water intrusion into it. It could be your raw water source.
And milky as in like chocolate milk, just because of the colors in play.
Right.
I don't want you to try to imagine like creamy.
White
it's
oil.
Not,
I mean like chocolate
It'll
milk.
look chocolate milky. Yeah.
Right. The other one is going to be smelling your oil at this point too. But just in general, also just smelling the oil, because that might mean fuel is getting into your oil, which could be a major problem, very big safety issue, because you can have all types of combustion issues at that point in time. And that's, again, just taking the dipstick out, running it under your nose, taking a whiff of it, looking for those small little bubbles, because that could be diesel fuel in your oil. Right. Not good.
Also, a lot of them will have a spill, what's called?
A drain pan or a pan underneath.
Or a pan, or a spill pan. So you want to check that to make sure that you don't see any signs of leaks.
Yeah, you should be pretty bone dry.
Yeah,
exactly. Is
exactly
what you're looking for.
Exactly. And then just remember that maintenance cycles will vary based off of your generator. Some require more regular maintenance because they may only hold like a gallon of oil. Others might have 100 hours, every 100 hours, make sure you're checking, certain elements. We got to keep that in mind. And some of that falls onto the occasional dues. Some of that falls onto the daily dues.
Right. The other things that are very important as we get into this, obviously always fire suppression in the engine room. But in general, because this is a self-contained unit many times with that sound barrier, a lot of them have ports where you can stick a fire extinguisher if you do see it catching fire, or that might have its own fire suppression system. And you need to be fully aware of this, because this is when speed matters and your ability to correct that issue immediately. Being able to know how to handle it and what to do is most important. So understanding that, making sure that you understand your generator all the way around. Is there a port for me to stick a fire extinguisher? Does it have its own fire suppression system? And how do I operate it? That's going to be your other thing. Now, we move forward with a couple of other things. And here we list some ways of starting your generator. I'll let you guys read the article. Every generator is a little bit different, so refer to your owner's manual always. But knowing how to start your generator and understanding its errors and so forth is going to be extremely important, because if you are trying to start your generator too much, you can run into some really big issues and really damage your generator. The other one that's going to be important is making sure to understand, is there going to be an immediate load of power on the generator? So when you start your generator, nothing should be calling for power off of the generator when you start it up. You do not apply a load to your generator until it's up, running, and it's warm and operating properly.
Right.
Then you can apply a load to it. And then in reverse for shutting it down. Remove the load from the generator back to shore power, and then turn your generator off. These are very important things, because you can do some major damage to your generator, and then we're back at the service stop.
And not having a good time. That's
taking another bill. And nobody wants that to happen. You don't want your boat out of commission because you made an error.
Exactly.
That's the worst thing in the world.
Exactly.
We invite you to read this article, catch up on it, make sure that you're doing the daily dues, the occasional dues. Very important, because it's going to help you enjoy that trip a little bit more if you can prevent an issue from happening while you're out and about. For now, I'm James Anderson.
I'm Ian Sneed.
Make sure to come back and check us out next week.
Boom. 2 in a row.
I'm a pro today, man.
They used to call me Flaco because I was skinny when I was young, but really I was underfed is what it was.
I started off today with yeses, and you ruined it.
I ruined it. How did I ruin it?
I don't know.
I don't know. You existed. That was enough.
Listen, it works for my wife to say something like that, so I was going to try it out.
I did not ruin anything.
Are you sure?
No.
Didn't I come into your office and say yes this morning?
I mean, yeah, you did. You were coming in and you said something yes related.
I said something. I started off with a yes today, which is very out of character.
I don't know what to though, because I was focused on getting the newsletter out. So
True.
I don't know what you said yes to.
I don't know what I said yes to
Or
either.
was it the phone call?
It wasn't the phone call I
No, it
said
wasn't
yes
the phone
on.
call.
But I started off with a yes. I was trying to start my day with a different tone. And
Yeah.
instead of telling you guys no, I tried to start with a yes.
Yeah. Well,
But, whoa, don't pat yourself on the back too much now.
done. Already done. Too late. Back is patted. All right, ready?
Ready as I'm ever going to be.
Let's look at the camera.
No.